we wanted to create something with a lot of presence, something very elegant and at the same time sporty. And the way we do that is we really create a long dashed axle. So you see from the front of the hood all the way to the front of the windscreen, the longer you make it, the more elegant and powerful it looks. Secondly, we look at the roof lines, the whole silhouette of the car. What we're trying to do here is create something that looks very elegant yet sporty. So the sloping roof line is something that gives you that sportiness, but it doesn't sacrifice headroom for the second row passengers. Along with that is your parabolic line. So this line that drops to the rear, it really pushes the volume down of the fenders and plants the wheels so that it looks very stable and robust. From there, I think everybody's familiar with the two lines, but this is the signature of Genesis. You'll see the two line elements really prominent in the headlamps and also in the tail lamps. So when you're driving behind one or something's approaching you, you know that it's a Genesis. It's our strong DNA. You can even see it kind of integrated into the side fender. So from the side you can see it. You'll see this details of two lines appearing elsewhere in the car. For example, in our new 22-inch wheels, this is a very solid 5-spoke wheel that has our two-line signature in it in two different surface finishes. So it really kind of stands out. Also plants the car really well on the ground. So as we continue to the front, the first thing you'll notice is the grille. With its very prominent design, with the new design features of the two lines being within the grille, further enhancing our DNA. This stacking of the lines, for me, it creates a lot of depth and elegance. So before it was a little more single, but this now adds like a little more robustness. Towards the bottom of the bumper, you'll see a much more robust and solid rocker, really to convey its capability. And if we move actually let me stay here for a sec. This is our new all metal flush badge, which is highly enhanced from our last version. So before it was a little bit plastic, now it's all metal. So as we move our way around to the rear, we have this new rear diffuser design, which really hides the muffler, and we have a very unique shape. So the shield shape is integrated on both sides of the diffuser. And this is also inspired by some of the show cars that you've seen, the coupe, the Speedium coupe in specific. That concludes the exterior. We can now work our way inside.
Before we go inside, I was wondering what brought about the chrome element, scaling from the front to the rear bumper and through the doors.
It's a little bit, again, the two-line element that starts together on the side, and then it expands and then comes together again.
Okay, so it's getting thicker as it goes through the doors, and then getting narrower again.
Right. It's a lot of times when you're sketching something dynamic, and actually I'll point to the sketch. You see the weight of the line is always centralized, and towards both ends it kind of tapers out. This is what gives a line motion. Here we have a brand new interior. We really wanted to accentuate our newest technology, which is the 27-inch OLED display. You can see here with the trim, it's really creating a stage or an amphitheater that really presents the screen to all of the driver and occupants. We're also accentuating this very horizontal dashboard with these hidden air vents. So everything is kind of cleverly integrated. Not one element is really standing out. That's part of our beauty of white space philosophy. Everything just kind of works naturally together, and less is more. Towards our center console, we have also brand new design. For me, I kind of like to think about sitting on a couch with your iPad laying there. So you'll see this tablet of technology that hosts all of your interactive controls, your cell phone charging and whatnot. So it's kind of nice. With that, we're also integrating more ambient light, so it really kind of floats this center console, keeps everything solid yet light looking. When you hear designers talk about sections and surfaces and how to tune them, we're really talking about how light is interacting with the surface. So how it rolls off, how it radiates, and you'll get a sensation of like a soothing effect on, based on how the surface reacts to the light. So that's kind of, if you didn't know what we're talking about. If you look at all of the corners and how the leather is wrapping around, especially these points, everything is very tight and organized. And that's really something that many people don't see, but we care a lot about. It's something that we take pride in, which is our gray zones. We have our, bread and butter here, but all of these small little corners, we want to make sure those are very tight.
This might be outside of design, but you're talking about the gray zones and everything being really tight. That must require really strict manufacturing process so that it's consistently tight as cars are built. I mean, is there any, from a design perspective, is there anything that you think about to help ensure that it looks the same across every vehicle?
That's kind of a built-up knowledge, like a dictionary of solutions. And, obviously we have to work with tooling and engineering and the constraints of crash. It's built up knowledge that we learn about, and then we apply that knowledge to everything else. So at the end of the day, we're getting a lot of consistency in the quality.
So which part of you most you like as a designer?
I mean, for me, obviously the architecture is very strong. The beauty of white space is something that resonates in me personally. So I really enjoy the fact that this interior, it showcases its technology, and it doesn't do it in a crazy way. It's very tasteful, it's very elegant, it's very timeless. So when I look at the exterior and interior, 10, 20 years from now, it's still going to look beautiful. As well as all the details. The details of this car, when you touch it, I'm sure when you're driving it, you're interacting with all of the knobs. You get a really satisfying tactile feel from not only the motion of it, but from the geometry. So when you're playing with this rotary dial, all the facets are quite bold. So when you're turning it, it's very intentional, the feeling that it gives you. So those are what I like about the interior.